Hey, it's Liberty, and today I'm going to be wrapping up my 2024 reading and setting some 2025 goals for myself. I'm also going to be checking in with what I said this time last year about what I wanted my goals to be for my reading in 2024 and see if I sort of kept up with that. I'm trying to be really chill with goals and things like that. So I'm not going to be berating myself. I'm just sort of going to be seeing if I kept with the themes of my reading. You know, I always say reading is supposed to be fun. So as always, do let me know what your reading goals are for the year. And I'm just going to get straight into it. If you like this, do give it a thumbs up. I make videos all about books, history, culture, etc. So do check those out and subscribe if you would like to. I made a note of my 2024 goals. So I did meet my Storygraph and Pages goal, but I'll get into that in a bit. I said that I wanted to finish Jane Eyre by the end of spring. I very much failed that, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to set a goal, I think, for the future. I've been reviewing it chapter by chapter on my YouTube shorts, and actually I've quite enjoyed dipping in and out of it, doing a chapter here, a chapter there, but I am going to be making a concerted effort to do at least a chapter a month. I am committing to that. Next, I wanted to read more fantasy and stop saving them from the perfect occasion, because I do have a tendency of doing that. I failed at this. I actually read less fantasy in 2024 than 2023, but I think that has come from me actively trying to read different genres. That is going to balance itself out this year. I also said I wanted to read more NetGalley books this year. It's the NetGalley paradox that I fall into, because whenever I apply for a book here or a book there, I rarely get it. For some reason, when I apply for 5 at once, I get 4 out of 5. Wrapping up my 2024 reading, I just applied for, I think, 5 and got all 5. And a similar thing happened about a month ago. I submitted for 5 and got 4 out of 5. I only read one NetGalley book in 2023 because that cluster happened to me at the end of 2023, moving into 2024. So I did achieve my goal for 2024. I read 7 NetGalley books, so that's definitely a success. Next, I wanted to not read so many books at once. Oh, my sweet summer child. At one point this year, I think I had 12 or 13 books going at once, so that was a massive fail. I do think, however, Storygraph adding in a feature where you can pause a book that you have and you're currently reading is really good, because there are 3 books that I have put on pause because I stopped reading them, and I actually have to go back and probably restart from the beginning. But I want to keep them there, so I know that I've got them there. But so mixed bag. I definitely failed more than I succeeded. So now I'm going to take a look at my Storygraph stats for 2024. And as you can see, I met my 40 goal. And I wasn't expecting to, because obviously I was doing my MA. But I really had a banger December. I think that contributed a lot to it. So yeah, I 110% read 44. And for my Pages goal, like I said last year, I was really, I was in the dark about how, what would be an appropriate Pages goal for 40 books. So I just picked 12,000 and I got about 15,000. Next, on to my moods and my average time to finish is a month. That also takes into account the paused, I hadn't figured out the paused thing. That was a really recent update. So yeah, that definitely pushes my average reading time probably. As to my moods, 17 out of 44 are emotional. Makes sense. I love emotional books. Mysterious, again, that kind of covers a lot of historical mystery, fantasy. Yeah, that covers a lot of genres that I like to read, so it makes sense. And dark for 14. Funny at 11. That is kind of surprising, but I do read a lot of, I guess quite a few of the historical fiction books that I read have that kind of funny bent to them. So, and adventurous, yeah, makes complete sense. I read a lot of fantasy, a lot of historical fiction. A lot of that is very adventure heavy and balance. As to my pace, most of them are medium paced, 73%, 29 books. Only 5 were slow paced and only 6 were fast paced. Yeah, that makes sense. Page number, I didn't read any books over 500 pages last year. 64%, majority between 300 and 499. Again, yeah. And I read quite a few 16 below 300 pages. I'd never made a concerted effort to read a bunch of small books. So this is all just coincidental stuff. Fiction and non-fiction, that is shocking. My reading is dominated by fiction, and actually that is going to go into my goals for 2025. But yeah, 41, 93%. I only read 3 non-fiction books. Now on to my genres. And of course, the number one, historical, 15 books. It was always going to be this way. Romance and mystery, both in second place, 10 books each. And then young adult and fantasy in third place with 9. I mean, this is my reading in a nutshell, kind of. Although normally I read more fantasy than YA, but some of these books are mystery and crime. I don't know how the tagging system works in that case in terms of like, are they all both? I can't believe that I only read 3 classics. That can't be right. That can't be right. Oh my God, maybe it is. I mean, I had to add Dramatic Murder in because I read it as an audiobook and it wasn't on there. So the other British Library classics aren't labelled as classics, which I think is a mistake. So that should be more. White Knights and Castle of Otranto, they were such big features of my reading in terms of like I made full videos about them. So now to format, yeah, that makes sense. Yes. 50, is that 59 or 58? I'm blind. 59% audiobooks. Again, that does make sense. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I love to have them on the go. I love to have them on when I'm cooking. I love to just go do my daily routine. I've got an audiobook going. That's just how it is. So that, yeah. Digital, this is probably my neck alley. And then print, only 12. That's shocking. And makes complete sense though, actually, because my physical TBR doesn't seem to be getting any smaller, so I'm gonna have to deal with that. Most read authors, Kat Dunn. Yep, I read that trilogy. Battalion of the Dead series, that was good. And John Dickinson Carter, this is a weird one. I read one of his books, but they've listed him as an author twice, which means he comes up twice. I've tried to change that, but I can't, so just ignore that. Languages, yeah, I only read in English. And my number of books and pages going over, this was, you can see when I finished my master's and my dissertation, because all of a sudden September jumps, and then October I don't know what was going on in October. I think I just was, I had a bit of the, I've just finished my master's and I'm applying for jobs slump where I was just miserable. And then yeah, November and December really, really picked up. My star rating, this surprises me. The most occurring value is 5 stars. Yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six, The Wolf Den, Trouble, Something to Be Proud of, White Knight, Summertime Punchline, Walking Practice, The Bandit Queens, Days of yeah, that, I loved all of those. Those were my favourite books of the year. I'm very curious as to see, actually, because my rating system, the way I do it is, I obviously technically well-written books will get high ratings, but if they don't deliver an emotional, if they don't affect me emotionally in some way, they can't get 5 stars. And a book that emotionally affected me, that, you know, maybe is less technically well-written, that can get 5 stars. So actually, I never say that my star rating system is objective in any way. It is completely subjective. It's completely driven by the way that books make me feel. You know, the point of reading for me is to get that emotion and feel that emotion from my books, and that I will always prioritize that when starring. Yeah, exactly. I mean, The Word is Murder. I'm actually considering moving that rating down a bit. I don't know how I feel about changing my rating, given when did I finish that? November. Given that it's been a couple months, do I change my rating? That's something that because does it negatively affect the books that I read earlier in the year? Because I'm looking at the London Science Society and I'm like, is that too high? But then I think, well, actually, no, I did really enjoy it. And I want to respect my opinions, but also, just Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands. I would have expected that to be 5 stars, but then, yeah, I think there was some little bits here and there that was like, I need the final push. It's not quite 5. And I think that's where a lot of my 4.75 books are like ones that I wanted to give 5 stars to. There was just some, like Tempest of Tea again. Like there was just something missing that stopped me from giving it 5 stars. And it wasn't a technical thing. It was like an emotional feeling that I just couldn't. Yeah, I think my brain is still stuck in the like solid number rating systems, because so many of them got 4 stars. Maybe like I might bump up Before the Coffee Gets Cold or For She's Wrath. Let's have a look at my lowest rated. My lowest rated is 2 stars. And that was The Christmas Egg. Oh yeah, that disappointed me actually. It was okay. Like 2 stars it was okay. Like I finished it. If I really, it's so rare for me to give something lower than 2. I think pretty much only It Ends With Us is the only book that I've rated lower than 2. I think I gave that a 1. And like similarly, like 3 is I liked it. 4 is, I loved it. And then 5 is like supreme. Because I think for me, I don't really try and push through books. So if something is bad, I'm going to DNF it. I'm not going to give it I don't think it's fair to give books a rating when I haven't finished it. So it's very rare to see, anything like that, because it'll just go in. There's a DNF option on Storygraph, so it goes in there and I'll deal with that. So now I've written down some 2025 reading goals. My first goal is to read more nonfiction. Obviously, you can see I didn't read a lot of nonfiction. I just read 3 books. I've bought a few books over the years that I just haven't prioritized. And so a lot of them are like history, politics. So I am going to hopefully get to those, because I've been really enjoying starting my day. I've got the 1,000 Years of Annoying the French book that I've been reading. It's been really nice to start my day with reading some nonfiction to like really engage my brain. And that book is just a lot of fun because it's meant to be like popular history, easy to read. So that's been great. And I'm aiming to do that. Also, I've got another goal that I am rolling over from last year, and that is to bring up my NetGalley response percentage. So, I've got emails saying that the reason that I've been rejected for some books is because they only accept a response percentage of like 70% or something. So I'm trying to get that up. I feel like I did well with that. I think I was at 20% the beginning of last year or a couple of years ago. Now I'm at 48. I've got a couple books that I'm in the middle of reading that I will need to give feedback. So I will get over 50% in the next couple of weeks. So the trajectory is there. And I'm bringing back another goal to read fewer books at the same time. Like I said, with the putting things on pause, that's made it a lot better. I think I'm like at 7 now. Let's have a look at Storygraph while I've got it here. How many books am I reading right now? 6. So not bad. 2 of them are NetGalley. One's The Year of Annoying the French. I want to keep it at 5. Want to get down to 5, and then I want to keep it at 5 maximum, hopefully 4. My final goal is, this is kind of more of a thing to be mindful of than an actual goal itself, but I want to have balance in my reading. I always talk about how I want to read more fantasy, I want to read more classics, I want to do all of these things, but actually I want to make sure that I keep a good balance. Like I keep saying, I want to be happy. I want reading to make me happy and not feel like a chore, not feel like a job, because this is my hobby, this is fun. So yeah, that is just like the overall theme that I go into every new year with. So that's it. That was my 2024 reading wrap up and 2025 goals. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed your 2024 reading. I hope you are currently enjoying your 2025 reading. I have got next week coming a video where I talk all about the books that are coming out in 2025 that I really want to read. There's a few of my friends that have got debuts and second books and stuff coming out, so this is I'm very, very excited. If you've got any reading goals for 2025, do let me know. We can bond over also not achieving our 2024 goals too. Happy reading.